Hey everyone, my name is David Dunbar, or the Theme Park Evangelist, and I know I'm hearing something. Is that? Oh. It's Katie! Yeah, she's just relaxing while I'm YouTubing. Anyway, so.
Watching a movie.
Yeah, she's watching a movie. So pay no attention to her, and how appropriate that she is in the background of this video, because tonight's video topic, whatever you want to call it, is actually going to be about our first date. So the last time you guys saw me, believe it or not, I was in my final day of being 29. And here I am, I'm 30 years old. Yeah, anyway. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the topic. So, at this point, you guys know that I had already gone ahead and invited her. She said yes, and I got very excited. I started jumping up and down, all that. At the time, I weirded her out, and now she would be like, well, that's my goofball for you. You might hear her comment from here and there. Just enjoy the commentary. I don't usually have her in my... Actually, this might be, if not definitely, my first time having her in my How I Met Katie YouTube series. So how appropriate she's behind me. So, I had stayed the night with Jonathan the night before, and then the next morning, we drove off to Newport Aquarium, and Jonathan found this sketchy parking lot, you could say, that was off to the side. Now, keep in mind that I did not use this parking lot for much longer, and the reason why is because, believe it or not, there was one day last July I decided to use it, and I went to use the ATM at it. It ate my debit card, and after that I said, no mo. But enough said about that. So Jonathan and I walked over to a place called Tom and Cheese. So Tom and Cheese is a Greater Cincinnati chain that sells grilled cheese sandwiches and soup. And they do this challenge where they try to see how many people can, or who can eat like 5 or 10 grilled cheese donuts. It's really weird. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So, and that's what I thought too. And I was like, okay. And got in there. I was like, okay, so I've never been in one of these before, so I'm having a hard time deciding. But I finally made up my mind. I was like, okay, I'm going to get grilled cheese sandwich, of course, and I got a bowl of soup. And Katie came in a little later, and she plopped herself right in front of me. Now, keep in mind, back then she was had much shorter hair than she does now. And she had gone to Fuddruckers, Fuddruckers, got Fuddruckers in the brain. And she had Five Guys. That's right, there's a Five Guys right there. And thank you. She is my other half of my brain. And she said she was going to go over and get her annual pass for the Newport Aquarium. So Jonathan looks around and he goes, where'd Katie go? And I said, oh, she said she's going over to the aquarium. And he was like, okay. And I said, don't worry, I saw her. It's all that matters. He's like, okay. So we stayed there a little bit longer. Then we walked over to the levee. And they invited me to go out on the bridge. And I saw Katie was there, and Katie didn't really look interested. I was like, nah, that's okay. I'll stay right here. Because, I'm not going to be rude like that. Especially to somebody I've never been out with before. And I sat down next to Katie. Now there was like a one person gap between us. This was the last time I sat next to Katie as a friend. Last time. And I just happened to look over, and so she was holding a stuffy. She was holding a stuffed penguin, and I asked her, where did you get that? And she goes, in the gift shop. I'm like, ooh, will you show me? Because I love stuffies too. And now keep in mind, I don't have as many as I used to because I just don't have the space for them, and most of them unfortunately went in the closet. So she had me follow her, and I just started being myself. We walked around the gift shop for a little bit, and then I had already bought my ticket, and Katie helped me upgrade my ticket to an annual pass, and this was one of the places we went on many, many dates to. And we started just walking through the aquarium, and we were just being ourselves. We were taking pictures of each other, and we had just got past this section that talks about octopuses and jellyfish, and we had just entered this tunnel. I'm gonna do my best to replicate this. And she basically tilts her head back like this, and she looks back at me. Maybe I could do this face in the camera. And she goes, "You could ask me to be my boyfriend or something like that." I did my best to replicate that, and I was literally screaming inside of excitement because I was like waiting for that to happen. I was like, "Yes!" I'm like, we're I don't even know how to pronounce it. Like, what took you so long, kind of thing. That kind of, I don't know. So, no hesitation saying yes. Katie's back behind me smiling, just to show you. See? And we went into their cafe called Sharky Cafe, and believe we each got milk. I believe I got my addiction, chocolate milk, and she got one of her addictions, white milk. And then we got Dippin' Dots, and we're just sitting there. She's like, "I can't believe we're boyfriend girlfriend." I was like, "I know, right?" I can't tell if she's trying to ignore me or she's just that interested in her movie. What? That's about the best you're gonna get out of her right now. So we got done with that, and we went and took one of our favorite couple photos over by the penguins, and she was holding her stuffed penguin at the time. And then we went up on Shark Bridge, which is really neat because it's a really long suspended bridge that's over this like big tank with all the different fish in it, all the sharks. And I've showed this on YouTube before. And we took a picture at the very end, so I stopped and I got behind her and I smelled for the camera. And at the time when Katie asked me if I could buy, our photo, I didn't think much about it and I didn't even think it was a really good idea, to be honest, at the time. Hold on 1 second. But I felt my gut instinct telling me that I probably should. So I was like, yeah, I guess so. And I mean, it took me a while to think about it. It really did. So we got the photo package taken care of, and then we walked around the gift shop, and then Katie's like, "Let's do it again," and I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it." And we finally got about quarter way through, and we finally caught up with my brother, and we tried to stick with him for a little bit, and we were like, "Nah, he's going too slow. Let's go again." So we went through again, and by the time we got done with the aquarium, it was basically time for dinner. So Jonathan originally had picked up this one place. And I think this was when I first found out that Katie had a gluten allergy. So, we tried to go over there, and they had nothing she could eat. Not to mention, the place was ridiculously expensive. So, yeah, I called up Jonathan. I'm like, "I don't think this place is going to work." And he goes, "Oh, don't bother going there. We already looked into it. It's not going to work." And he goes, "I already made like a reservation or something like that for a place called Pompelia." So it was a genuine Italian restaurant in Newport. And at first, Katie and I were like, "Well, this is our first time, officially going out. We really weren't sure if we really want to go somewhere nice." The two of us kind of want to go somewhere a little more laid back. So Katie had suggested, why don't we go to... What was the name of that restaurant again that's off of Mall Road? Thank you. Smoky Bones. So Katie suggested that we go to Smoky Bones. And I really liked her idea. I was like, yeah, let's do it. I didn't go to Smoky Bones all that much until we started dating. And I asked Jonathan for permission. He goes, no. And then he goes, if you go out there, then you're going to need to find a way back to your place, or my place. And I'm like, okay. So we were kind of stuck, and, I just started dating Katie, so I'm not going to ask much of her. Like now, these days, different story. We're getting ready to be engaged, so things have changed since then. But, this was our first date. So we're like, oh, well, I guess we'll go ahead and go along with it. So we go in this really nice Italian restaurant, and it's loud. It was very nice, though. I was like, okay. They put us at a table in the main section, and they gave us, thankfully, one of those tables with the a booth. That's right, they gave us a booth. So Katie sat across from me. And keep in mind, we're both not dressed for this. Excuse me. So Katie's in a t-shirt and jean pants, and I'm in a t-shirt and jean shorts. And I'm thinking to myself, this is kind of awkward, super nice Italian restaurant. And Katie was probably thinking the same exact thing. You can just give a thumbs up if you agree. That's what I thought. So, yeah, we were both on the same page there, and we were just like, oh, well, I'll just go along with it. So the two of us just conversed and all that. And on top of that, Katie had driven me over there, which was kind of weird. And when we were getting ready to leave, I don't know why, I felt this compulsion to hug her. But Katie was just not quite ready yet, and I felt kind of confused when she just kind of left me so suddenly. I was like, okay, but I just tried not to let it bother me. I was like, maybe she's just not ready to hug me yet. And the good news is that same exact day, I don't know why, but I just decided to ask her out on a second date. I was happening to go to see Jurassic World Dominion on the 12th of June, not of November. So, 1 year, 6 months ago, roughly. And it was after church, and Katie said, yeah, that would be awesome. I would love that. And that was the very first time I had ever gone to church with her. And I went to church with her at Florence Baptist. And we've only really gone 2 or 3 times as a couple. And that was the very first day that I ever stopped attending my own church. And then about a week later, on the 19th, I started attending Grace Fellowship, and I fell in love with it, and I've been going there ever since. As cool as that is. So, yeah, that's how believe it or not, the relationship started. All because I was myself the entire time. And as far as, what happened after the date, well, let's just say Jonathan and I had a talk. But you know what? I'm not going to let, my brother's opinions, persuade me or sway me or whatever on how I do things. I'm very happy with how things are going, and if I need to talk to Katie about certain things, I talk to her in private. Obviously, nothing that Katie and I talk about that's private is shared online, because it's between her and I only. But at the end of the day, I love her very, very much, and I'm extremely excited to move forward in this relationship with her. I know in my heart by this point that we are ready to take that next step, and that's why we're going to go ahead and do that. And as crazy as this is, you're excused. This is our /my last YouTube video here in Kentucky before we leave for North Carolina. So we're leaving in 6 days, almost 5 now.
5 days.
5 days. she has to help me with the math too. So I have to help her, and she has to help me. So that's how it kind of goes. We're leaving on the Sunday, the 19th.
An official countdown: 5 hours, 5 days, 10 hours, 33 minutes.
That's the official countdown, anyway.
Sorry.
So, don't be sorry. So, yeah, we're very excited. We're going to stop at Buc-ee's in Richmond on the way down. We're going to stop at Buc-ee's in Sevierville on the way back, because what we're planning on doing is we're going to take a little post-engagement trip to Pigeon Forge / Gatlinburg on the way back. And as promised, I am going to take her to Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies on the way back, because I have free entry now to all Ripley's attractions. So, we will see you guys on Sunday morning early. Not as early as going down to Florida, thank God, but early still at Buc-ee's in Richmond, Kentucky. Until then, just be praying for Katie with everything that's going on in her life, and always remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Have a great night. Peace out.